In this video, we're going to talk about continue, pass, and break and their differences in Python programming language. So please stay tuned. So first of all, let's talk about the easiest one, which is pass. And after that, we will talk about the rest. So as you can see here, we are defining a variable named x, which is a list containing 1, 2, 3. And here we are saying that for every value in x, if the value is equal to 2, we are doing some stuff, and we will explain that. And after this whole thing, we are printing the value itself. So for better understanding all of these, I want to use the debugging capability of PyCharm, the debugging feature. So I click here. This wall is called gutter. So I click here, in this line, and I right click, and I want to debug this code. And I should wait for a couple of seconds. So there you go. As you can see, we are debugging this code. And by the way, when you put this red line here, it means that you are telling PyCharm that you want to run all the stuff before this red line. For example, here in this code, all the stuff before this red line is this line. It means that you're going to run all the stuff before this line, but after this line, after this red line, no, you are going to do it in a step-by-step manner, and you want to look at it manually. So before this red line is this x variable, and as you can see, because we have executed this line, so as you can see, this is the x variable, and its value is a list containing 3 numbers, 1, 2, 3. And now I press F8 in order to run the code line by line. So here it says for value in x, we are iterating through the x variable. So if I press F8, the first value in it is 1. So here we are saying if the value is 2, and as you can see in the first iteration, no, it is not 2. So it is going to skip this if. So if I press F8, you can see it has skipped this block, this if block, because it was not 2. So, but anyway, it is going to print the value itself. It is going to print this string. So if I press F8, you can see, if I go to console, you can see, yes, here we have value is, and the value was 1, so that's why you see value is 1. Once again, let's go to this part. And now I press F8. As you can see, it goes to the second value, which is 2. And now we want to check this if statement, this if block. So here it says if value is 2. And in this iteration, yes, definitely value is equal to 2. So if I press F8, as you can see, it goes into this if block. So here it says pass. Pass means do nothing. So it is not going to do anything. Pass means do nothing. So it is not going to do anything. And I press F8. And after that, it says, okay, print value is value. So if I press F8, and if I go to console, you can see it prints this one as well. And I press F8 for going to the next iteration. So as you can see now, the next value is 3, and we are checking whether this if condition is true, which is not. So we are going to the next one, and it is going to print the value. So as you can see, yes, in console it prints that. And if I press F8, because there is no other value in x, so we exit out of this debug mode. So this is the output. Value is 1, value is 2, value is 3. Now let's talk about the second easiest one, which is break. So let's replace this with break. And now if I right click and debug this code again, so as you can see, it has executed the previous line before this red line. So the x variable is a list containing 3 numbers. And now here, from now on, I press F8 to run this line by line. I press F8. As you can see, the first value is 1. So here we are checking if the value is 1, which is not. So we go to the next one. It says print the value is, and the value. And if I press F8, as you can see in the console, we have value is 1. And now if I press F8, as you can see, we go to the second value, which is 2. And here we want to check this condition. If value is 2, which is definitely 2, and it is correct, this condition is correct. So we are going inside this if block. And it says you should break. What does break mean? Break means that you should break this for loop, this loop. You should break this. When you type break, it means that you need to break this loop. So here, if I press F8, as you can see, it breaks everything and it exits out of that for loop. And as you can see, after this for loop, we don't have anything. So that's why we reach the end of the code. And it only prints value is 1. So break breaks that loop. Yes, if we did have something here, it was going to continue. For example, suppose that here we had, for example, print high. So now if I run the code, not debug the code, if I run the code, as you can see, yes, it prints the high as well, because after breaking this for loop, it is going to continue the rest of the code, and the rest of the code, for example, here is printing high. So it is going to print that as well. But remember that break is going to break the loop. But now let's replace this with continue, and once again, right click and debug this code. As you can see, before this line, before this red line, all the stuff has been executed. So from now on, we want to run the code in a step-by-step manner. So I go to the console and I press F8. So in the first iteration, the value is 1, and we are checking this if condition, which is not true. So the value is not 2, so we skip this if block and we go to this part which says print value is value, and if I press F8, as you can see, it prints value is 1. And in the next iteration, the value is 2, and when we are checking this if condition, it is definitely true, so the value is 2. And it says if value is 2, you need to continue. But what does continue mean? Continue means you need to go to the next iteration. So continue means you need to go to the next iteration. It means you should continue this iterating process and you need to go to the next iteration. As you can see, we are iterating through this X list. And as soon as we reach this continue, it says you need to go to the next iteration. It's like a command. Yes, of course, after this line, we have another line. As you can see, it says print value is value. But here we have a command that says don't care about the other lines, just go to the next iteration, and we should listen to that command. So I press F8, and as you can see, we suddenly go to the next iteration and we don't care about the other stuff after that line, inside this loop. So as you can see, in the next iteration, the value is 3, and it says if value is 2, which is not correct, which is not true. So we're not going to go inside this if block. So we're going to skip this if block. And after that, we're going to print value is value. So if I press F8, as you can see, it prints value is 3. I press F8 once again. And as you can see, we reach the end of our iterating process and we exit out of that debug mode. So this is the result. Value is 1, value is 3. So this was the difference between pass, continue, and break. So if I want to summarize all this stuff, this is the summary. Pass means do nothing. So pass does nothing. It's a kind of filler that you put there for doing nothing. So pass does nothing, but continue continues iterating and goes to the next iteration. This part is explanation, so that's why I put it in parentheses, but actually this is the thing that continue is going to do. Continue is going to command you to go to the next iteration. So continue means go to the next iteration, and break is going to break the loop. This was one of the videos of a step-by-step tutorial playlist of Python. You can find a link to that playlist in the description below. And also we have other playlists for other topics, which you can find them on the channel page.